Hi guys, this is Debbie with Debbie J's Crafting Corner. Today we'll be making this super easy Halloween spanner card. I just had to make another card or two using this digital stamp set from Oddball Stamps. After all, I did color and cut out the extra elements on that slimline card that I did earlier. This one is going to be a spanner card. I'm starting with a top folding black card base that I made from Michael's Heavyweight Cardstock. I'm scoring at 4 1/4 and then folding and burnishing on the score. I'm using my Fiskars Rotary trimmer and I'm cutting the front panel at 1 1/4 from the side edge on each end and cutting from the fold to the bottom of the panel. I had to be pretty careful not to cut past that fold, and this first one is a perfect cut. The second one, I didn't cut close enough to the fold, so I'll just use my Fiskars scissors to finish the cut. Now that the card base is done, I'll start decorating. For the center front panel, I cut a piece of patterned paper that measures 2 3/4 by 4 inches, and for the inside, I cut a white panel to 4 by 5 1/4. I adhered the white panel to the inside of the card with art glitter glue, leaving about 1/8 of an inch border as a mat. Then I took a couple of 1 inch by 4 inch coordinating patterned paper strips and adhered them to the ends of the white panel. By the way, I'm still using that patterned paper from the Ghost Stories paper pack that I've used on several projects. Eventually I'll use that pack up. I decided to add a sentiment to the inside, so I pulled out this set from Simon Says Stamps. I love all the witchy sentiments in it. I stamped, "You say witch like it's a bad thing," in Hero Art's intense black ink at an angle and using my Fiskars stamp block press. Now let's work on the front. I adhered the 2 3/4 by 4 inch pattern paper to the center front panel. I want to line it up with the inside panel, so I opened the 2 smaller panel flaps. Once that's in place, I can add the 1 by 4 inch pattern paper pieces to the front of those flaps. Oh, and in case you hadn't guessed it yet, I'm using art glitter glue because it gives me that little wiggle room that I need to get all of this lined up. I just can't do it with a tape runner or with double-sided adhesive tape. Now we'll add the spanner panel. This piece spans between the 2 end flaps. I'm using cardstock and a sentiment on mine, but I've seen it done with acetate too. I may do that next time. I pulled this orange sentiment strip that was cut from another Recollections paper pack out of my stash and adhered it to a piece of pattern paper from Ghost Stories. I love the contrast between the two, and I think it'll go well with the other pieces that I add later. Then I trimmed the pattern paper piece down to give a small match to the top and bottom of that sentiment, and then to about 5¼ inches wide. Next, I'll adhere the ends of the spanner panel to those two end panels. I decided to do this about an inch or so from the bottom. I did manage to get this placed a little off kilter and had to straighten it. Luckily, art glitter glue does dry clear, so no one will know that I goofed. Now I'll add those elements from the Adventure Awaits digital stamp set that I colored on my previous video. I think this Witch Crossing sign is just too cool, so I'll start with that. On my sample card, I had added this witch broom to the front, but I didn't leave enough space on this one. Instead, I think I'll add one of the little bats. This card has basically 3 layers. When we open up the first layer, the center front panel is still closed. So I'll add a little something to the end panels. And when I say something, I mean bats. Next, I'll open up the center panel and decorate the inside using the witch's broom and hat. I love the way that this card is turning out, but the Witch Crossing sign is a little dingy due to the ink blending that I did to color it yellow. So I'm taking a fine tip black Sharpie and going over the parts that should be black. Now that looks a lot better, but it still needs a little shimmer. So I'm taking my Spectrum Noir shimmer pen and going over the bat and the witch on the sign. Let's see, does it need anything else? Oh yeah, sequins. I'm taking some little bat sequins and some little black sequins and adding a few of those to the front of the card. That finishes up this card for today. I hope that you are inspired to get going on your Halloween crafting, and I would love to see what you create. So come join my Facebook group, Crafting with Debbie, and show us your creations. I've left a link in the description box down below. Oh, and if you make anything using ideas from one of my Halloween videos, please post a picture and tag me at hashtag Debbie J's Crafting Corner and at hashtag DJCC Halloween 2020. You can also see all of my Halloween videos for 2020 by clicking on the hashtag DJCC Halloween 2020 down in the video title. Here are some other videos that you may be interested in. Thank you so much for dropping by, and remember, if I can make it, you can too.